Anietie Bature. Oh, wait. Even once I don't pause, it be like say hope is lost. I don't tire to hear them say we go get back to you someday. How I go face tomorrow when I hate to borrow. Find out my remedy and turn around, call me lazy. I no go complain. I no go complain. Oh, I no go complain. Inflation wants to kill me, but I no go die. 'Cause my father don't be pastor. Power be my life. I go stand on top of matter. I go rise up.
Where's our people? Where's our people out? Oh, the music is overpowering your voice, but can you hear our voice now? Can you hear our voice? The backstage music was still going on. Okay, can you hear our voice now? Please, if you can hear us, type 111 111 or give us a thumbs up so that we can know what you're feeling over there. Because we are feeling the sound here in the state, but we need to know what you are feeling over there. Please give us the feedback so that we can go on.
Okay. So let's see how is this going. So yes, let's know. Okay, Debbie, you can hear us. Fantastic. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so I'll start this again.
Yes.
Good evening. Hello. And welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. Yes.
Yes.
My name is Anietie Bature.
And my name is Kingsley Bature.
Yes, and we're so happy that you are with us today on the show. Thanks to everyone who dialed in or who joined on time. It's going to be a very exciting, a very interesting, I sense it will also be quite deep. Because it seems you have some deep things on your mind for today.
Don't be saying that. Don't be going there. Let's just stay where we are. I'm just going with the flow. I think this one we just need to gist. It's gist that we need to gist.
Yeah.
Especially with this particular title. Now gist, we need to gist. So
Yes.
the question in the gisting room is now who do me this thing? Okay, that's actually the title for today. Who do me this thing? And interestingly, when you look at it, when you think about it, you can also look at the fact that a lot of people when they go through stuff, they'll be like, why is my own always like this? Do you understand? Why is my own like this? Why is this thing happening to me?
Yeah.
What is going on? Kinikon. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So who do me this thing? The situation the state that you find yourself in any season in your life, who's responsible? Is it the government? Is it your village people? Is it your yard people? You know yard people. Is it your family people? Is it the people that have been around the edges of your life? Who is ultimately responsible for what you are going through in your life? Because when I hear who do me this thing, in fact, this like the title that you can use for a crusade itself. You can do a crusade and say the title of our crusade is who do me this thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine people will be coming.
Those are some things that we need to look at. Those are some things that we need to pay attention to.
Yes, and while we are still talking about the topic, at least you've heard it now and you know what we are going to get into. if you know that you have not yet invited your friends and your cousins and your siblings and your loved ones that need this information, please go ahead and share the link with them right now so that they can come on and be part of this, because there are many people who are dealing with issues, there are many people who are experiencing setbacks, there are many people who have stuff happening to them that makes them feel this is not how my life is supposed to be. So let's talk about it. Is there something we can do? Is there a way we can address the issue? Can it be solved, or are we doomed if you find yourself in that kind of situation? So that's what this show is about. So it's going to be really, really deep. It's going to be solid, right? So let's get our friends on board. And while we're doing that, I'll ask again, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead and subscribe. It's easy to do. Get down there, you see that subscribe button, click on subscribe, and that way every time something new is coming up, you'll be one of the first to know. And while we go through this, if you hear anything that is of value to you, share. Let's know that you are getting it. Let's know that you are feeling it. Let's see some thumbs up, what your favorite emojis coming in, something to let us know that that was of value to you. And don't forget to like. And I see that some other friends of ours have come online. I can see Dara Benny World, good evening, welcome, thanks for joining us today. And I also see Timora Ian. Timora, we've missed you. It's good to have you on the show today. So Dara Benny says, it is just me, I can hardly is it just me? I can hardly hear you. Okay, so Dara Benny, please let me know who you can't hear. Is it the two of us or one of us? That feedback will help.
The two of us.
So let's know if you can hear. I hope all that I have been saying somebody heard. If not, I'm going to have a lot of speaking back to do. So let's know how that's going. So I'll just keep speaking and hope that while I'm waiting for feedback on when you are hearing, let me know when you are hearing us loud and clear. Let me know. So today's show is going to be quite interactive. That's what we are hoping for. That's what we desire. Let's talk, let's engage, let's share, because and then something else, if you have questions, we're here and it's a good forum for you to just ask the questions that you have. I know that we have a topic, but if you have a burning issue that you want to find out about, that you want to ask a specific question about, feel free to just type your question in the chat and we will address it. So it's a good opportunity for all that to happen. Yes. So I know sometimes when it gets to Q&A, it's like there's always one person. At first the room is quiet, then there's one bold person who just jumps in and starts to ask a question, and then from there others chime in. But let's not do that delay. Let's just go ahead and ask the questions on your mind and drop them early so that we know and have an idea of how many questions we have, so that we can get to them, give sufficient time to address them.
Dara Benny says the sound is better now.
Okay, Dara Benny, thank you very much for that feedback. Okay, so yes, so let's do this. Are we good to go? Are you ready? If you're ready, give me a thumbs up from the different platforms. If you're ready, give me a thumbs up from Facebook. Like to see some thumbs up from LinkedIn, thumbs up from YouTube. Yes, thumbs up from everywhere. So let's see that, and then we jump right into this. So it's better now. The sound is better now. Okay, so we've got 2 confirmations that the sound is better now. Okay, are we good? Timora says, hi Debbie. Yes, so Timora, come and greet everybody because you really left us for a long time. Okay. Fantastic. Debbie says we're ready. All right, let's go. So I'll start with some opening thoughts, just to set the stage. When a child is born, even the parents of the child have hopes and dreams. People in the community have expectations, and as the child gets older, right from school, they'll start to ask them questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I mean, so you already begin to get the idea that there's going to be some kind of expectations. There are going to be milestones, right, that you need to reach, and that people are expecting that you don't just go through life clueless. You don't just go through life doing nothing, having no impact. You don't just go through life and it's like you are just passing through. You are just matter, as in you have weight and you occupy space. No, but that you matter. People expect you to matter, to have an influence, to have an impact, to be relevant, to add value, and so on. So you just have the early days where you're a child, you're growing up, you're depending on your parents for virtually everything, right? You're beginning to understand your environment, understand a few things about the society. You're making friends, interacting with your siblings, learning to love people, tolerate people, learning to forgive, knowing what's good, what's bad. All of that is happening. And then go past that, primary school, secondary school, somewhere along that path of secondary school, they start to ask you more about what do you want to study, what profession do you want, and so on. And you start to narrow down, start to zoom in to see what exactly is it that I want to do with my life. And then you have some of those questions about, hey, what are you passionate about? What's that thing that drives you? What motivates you? So you start thinking about, oh, I want to be an artist. Oh, I want to be a designer. Oh, I want to be an accountant. Or I want to be the first president of something, something, something. I want to be the first person from my tribe or from my community to become so and so. All of that happens, right? And you go through your secondary education, and then next thing, university. I mean, that's like the next step as far as education is concerned, right? But then that's not the only option, because there are alternative ways of getting that education. You could decide, I'm not going to university. You could decide to go to a polytechnic, or some other technical institution, right? And then sometimes you could go the route of what they call it, apprenticeship, right? Where you understudy somebody, learn everything about the business, and then from there you start up your own. That system exists and is also really effective. In fact, in some cases, it's said to be more effective, because by the time you come out, there's the work cut out for you already. So that whole thing of I'm applying for a job and stuff like that really isn't there. Anyway, so there are alternatives. And you go through that, and then you're out of, or you're done with the education. Some people can further their studies, do masters, PhD, whatever it is. But there comes a time, right, where people begin to say, hey, you are here now, especially when you're done with your education, the basic, at least up to the point where most people are expected to reach. So you've completed the apprenticeship, or you're done with your polytechnic education or university education, you have your degree, the certificate, something that shows that you have been trained, right? And then you start hearing stuff like, oh, you're a graduate now, you can no longer depend on your parents and stuff. So something is expected that at this point you should become independent to some extent. You should no longer be going to meet your parents to give you money when you want to go out, because you should at least be earning money somehow, right? You shouldn't be asking for what they call it, monthly stipends or allowance and stuff like that from your parents and your guardians, because hey, you have received a whole complete education, so you should actually be doing something. So even when you come out from school and maybe you don't have a job yet, you're expected to use all of that education, all of the education that you have gotten over the years to do something, start something, find something. If you had a job, they'll call it side hustle. If you don't have a job, it's the main hustle, is the hustle. So you have to do something. So what is it that you know to do? So if I use myself as an example, when I came out from school, that period in between when I didn't have a job, what I did was catering. I used to make cakes. So my mom taught us to bake early years, and I started doing that, and I did it for some time, as my way of earning money. So right from when I finished school, I did not, as in if, because of this thing that my mom taught me, right from when I was in school, I did not need to send a request home. By the time I was in 400 level, there was no need for me to send a request. So, mommy, I need money for this money. No. I think she had empowered me enough to be able to earn money and not have to ask her for daily bread or for things like money for handouts and stuff at that stage in my life, you know. So, yes, coming out of school, that was it for me. I just continued with the catering until I had a what I call proper job. So I focused on the job, you know. But really, you have to find something. Not having a job is not an excuse for you to say, oh, I don't have a job, therefore I remain dependent. What's the way forward? You know, how are you going to deal with the situation? How are you going to handle the fact that you don't have a job? So that's just one example, you know, the financial side of things. But then there's more to it. There are other parts. So for some people, it's that you come out and then you're thinking, I want to settle in this part of finance. I want to make sure that I have the some people say my ducks in a row, financially speaking, and so on. And then you now find out that, hey, what's going on? Somebody wakes you up, maybe somebody meets you one day and it's like, every time you come, you're always alone. When are you going to bring someone? You know, you start hearing some of those questions. Like at this time, you know, so there's the part where you are compared to your mates, right? Your mates are doing this. Your mates are doing that. In fact, some people will be specific. You say, that boy that was in your class, remember Uchenna? Uchenna has married though. In fact, his wife just gave birth. So now you start having comparisons to your peers, people you were in school with, people you grew up with, just to let you know that, hey, some people have gone ahead, oh, and it seems you're lagging behind. What's the issue? What's the problem? So it's quite interesting when that begins to happen, and those are some of the indicators that something isn't quite right. You know, there's a way that if nobody's saying anything to you, you might feel, I'm okay, I'm doing great, I am fine. Debbie, if you can still hear me, just give me a thumbs up. You know, so there's a way you feel like if everything is okay, but then when they start telling you those things, you begin to think, I thought I was fine. Is everything okay? Is there something that I should have done that I am not doing? You know, and then you start to look closely, like, hello, what is it? Then that's when some kind of anxiety begins to set in, and you know, people start to wonder, what am I going to do? Is there something wrong? And then if there's something wrong, why is there something wrong? What? like the title says, who do me this thing? Why is there this delay? Why is there this setback? How come it's only me that's not gotten a job? I can remember what happened one time. Hey, that made me pray one kind prayer like that. I was standing on the road, waiting for a taxi to go somewhere. This is after university, right? And I hadn't gotten a job yet at this time. Yes. And I was just standing by the road waiting for thank you, Darabeni, waiting for a taxi to come. And then I saw one of my, you know how you say it, your juniors in school. I saw one of my juniors in school. She just drove past in a car. Now, I don't know whether it was official car, whether it was her father's car, whether it was her car, but you know how the universe is like as if some voices appear from somewhere. In fact, it's not the universe, it's some voices from somewhere say, see you standing, see you standing on the road. Meanwhile, your younger, whatever, your schoolmate is driving and passing in a car. Hey! You know that, hey, Lord, is this how people will come and succeed and pass me? You know that? my goodness. So I can remember praying, as in right there while I was waiting for the taxi. I actually said a prayer like, Lord, that kind, I can't remember exactly what I prayed because I mean, I didn't go and write it down to help me remember in the future. But I know I prayed about my future to say, Lord, let me not experience, whatever delays, setbacks, like let my path be straight, and that's something, Sha. Something that will the result of the prayer I was praying was meant to be such that I will not be the sorry case, the one that people will look at and say, hey, yeah, how come it turned out like that for her? But she used to be a really cheerful student, or she used to be a very intelligent person in the class. How come? No, 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 no. So yeah, I prayed. I prayed, and yes, I think I am happy that I prayed that prayer because I'm sure that God heard me. That some prayers you pray, just like one other prayer that I prayed when I was standing on the road one rainy day. I wasn't standing. I was walking, and then this car just passed, and you know how they just pass and spray you like just spray you like almost as if they're saying, I don't care. I don't care who's on the road. I'm just going. I'm in my car. I'm dry. I'm covered. And then they don't care. They really don't. Oh, come on. For goodness sake. And this is a warning to all of you that have been spraying people. Watch it. The fact that you have your own car does not mean you should oppress other people who are just trying to get to where they're going to, especially when people are finished dressing up well, you know? So, yeah, some of those things just buttress the fact that something is is not going the way it should go, and because of that it's very annoying, it's very disturbing. Like, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? How do I handle this situation? you know so yes, it can be quite a challenge. So those are the issues, and some people start to ask questions, and the questions go from, I'm asking my friends, to my friend referred me to somebody that they think is a wise person, to maybe I went to a religious organization somewhere, a church, some other place, and then somebody said something, or maybe there's some guy who claims to see the future, is a prophet and stuff like that, and then the person comes to tell you, oh, this is the problem. It is some person somewhere who is holding your destiny, or it's the old woman in the village that was there when they gave birth to you. They carried your umbilical cord, you know, and they buried it under a tree and stuff like that. So these are some of the things that people begin to hear, things about tradition, things about um, religion, things about witchcraft, things about some other stuff, right? That people begin to hear, and in some of those cases, it's a fact, and those things need to be addressed, because really, when you were little, you were not in control. You don't know what was done on your behalf. So that's a part to address. But there's also the part where you just look at yourself. What are you going to do? You as a person, is there any part? Sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with the village. Sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with a witch or a wizard or an old person somewhere. It doesn't have to do with your destiny being tied somewhere. Sometimes it's just as simple as there are certain things you need to do. You need to be a little more proactive about something. You need to be a little more determined about something. You need to be a little more persistent about your search, about how you want to go about life. You need to maybe know a little more. Sometimes you need to read more. You need to learn more. You need to go and find out, what is it that I am to do. What is it that I am to do? Right? You need to find out, what am I to do? How am I to change this? And if this is the problem, what can I do? How can I solve it? How can I address it? So you start to look into the issues. You start to take it step by step, one by one. How do I go forward? You know, it's like drilling down, like take all these things away, take all these things off, take them away one by one, and drill down to the issue. What is it that is causing this? Or if sometimes, Seth, what is it that I need to do? If, assuming it is so complex or it is so um, unique that you can't even place your finger on the cause, you can start from, okay, where am I right now and where do I want to be? Reminds me of one book I read, I think it was by Brian Tracy, I can't remember now. It said how to get from where you are, and they put that A for the R, to where you want to be, and that was B. So like moving from point A to B. How do you do that? I mean, sometimes these self-help books, self-development books are really important because you need to, they help you to know certain things like, okay, what adjustments can I make? So read more, learn more, start to look for people that have succeeded. Sometimes it's about looking for who is that person that has gotten to the place that you want to get to. I would like to see the comments, please. So who is the person? Who are the people? Who's someone you know that has gotten to the place that you want to get to? And then you start to look at them as role models. So if you look at them, what did they do? How did they get there? Are there some things that they did that I can apply in my own life so that I can get to where they have reached? Are there certain things I can do? What did they do? What did they say? How did they say it? You know? So you just, what changes did they make? What did they, what adjustments did they make in their lives? And you just begin to look at those things and say, okay, which can I apply? Sometimes it's apply one thing and see if something changes. Then apply the next thing. And you know how it's precept upon precept, layer upon layer. And you just go through step by step by step, and you start to make adjustments in your life. And you start to watch and see, and hey, when you're seeing the changes, please acknowledge the fact that something is changing and celebrate the progress that you are making. Because the thing is, sometimes people are expecting to see one massive improvement before they even applaud themselves or before they even commend themselves for the progress they have made. But if you see that, okay, before I had to beg for money to eat, I had to ask for financial support, and all of a sudden you've reached a place where you don't need to ask for financial support, that's significant. You should celebrate it, and you should give yourself some credit for the fact that you have gotten to this place where if I want to go out, I just go out because I have the money and I'm going forward, you know? Yeah, so yeah, so you have to commend yourself for the progress you're making, and then continue. Be consistent. Consistently apply the things you're learning little by little, little by little. Just keep going, and eventually you will see more and more changes. So it's really, really important to do those things. So we have a number of questions, a number of comments that have come in, and before we go forward, I think we should just go and take them one by one. Our sound is fully restored now from what I see, and we'll start with the first question from Deborah.
Debbie says, question, is adulthood a scam? Because is it I can even or I can't even deal with all the pressures? You know, is adulthood a scam? That depends on what they told you about about being an adult, right? That depends on the things that they told you about being an adult. So if they told you something and you now grew up to find out that thing they told you is not what it is, it will look like a scam. Do you understand? So,
or sometimes that something that they did not tell you is actually a reality that adults face.
Yes, so and you see in the process of facing that reality, like she's asking, it begins to feel like, say, maybe na my own, na him just different. Maybe maybe others are not going through this thing, or maybe there others are having it a different way. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you find out that on this journey of who do me this thing, the natural instinct, the natural instinct is for people to look for where to put the blame. So you become an adult and you are facing challenges, and it is like, maybe my parents didn't prepare me for this challenge, or maybe it is my own children. Rasa, how can you come on my show? And this is the question you're asking me.
Razi, first time ever.
Razi, it's your first time on my show, and this is the question you're asking me. Is it fair?
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
But you get the point. Everybody is going through stuff, and we have to be ready. We have to be prepared to be able to look ourselves in the eye and deal with what our reality is. That's what needs to be critical.
Yeah.
In this thing. So is adulthood a scam? It depends on what they told you. It depends on what you
So maybe you just say adulthood is a reality.
It's a reality check.
It is a phase that that every person who is born and does not die before they get there will get to, and will have to deal with the realities of that phase.
See, the Rabbi says this issue about adulthood, they actually didn't give us full gist about it, because nothing is adding up. So I can fully relate with this, right? I can fully relate with you with the fact that nothing is adding up, because it depends on what calculator you are using and what number you are trying to arrive at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I saw this clip of this little girl seriously crying, and she's like, she probably between 4 and 6, and she was seriously crying, and they were asking her what the problem was, and she was like, she doesn't want to grow up. She likes being a child. She likes, so I guess she had gotten a view, right, of how adulthood is by observing the people around her, and then she realized that this thing is not easy, and she preferred being a child because you're being taken care of. Your parents sort out everything. Somebody's thinking about everything for you. I mean, just think about a vacation, for instance. As a family vacation, it's the parents who organize everything, from the visas to buying the tickets to sorting out which hotel or wherever people are going to stay, to making arrangements for all the food that is going to be eaten and the shopping, and you do all of that. It's the adults in the family who are responsible for that. But the kids, all they know is they come back from school or something. One day you call them and say, hey guys, we're going on vacation, and they're like, yay! Where are we going to? In fact, they can even start to tell you, why is not that place? We prefer this or that one, and stuff like that. So really, no pressure on the kids.
On the kids.
But for the adults, responsibility. The sooner you wrap your mind around it, the better. So
it means, you see that word that you just highlighted, that's the word that is causing most of the problem that we have to deal with now. Indeed, when we say, who do me this thing, or why is my own like this, it's a call to find out.
Responsibility. And you know why I like that word right now? Responsibility. Your ability to respond to whatever life throws at you. Yeah, your ability to respond. So as a child, your job is to take it to mommy, take it to daddy, right? Daddy, this happened. Mommy, this happened. Daddy, I did this. Mommy, I did this. And as an adult, it is, this has happened. What do I do about this? What do I do about this? So also, maybe you're sitting down, you've moved into a house. Some people think that moving into their own house is that they just move into their house.
No, they think moving into their house is now what makes you an adult.
So when they now move into the house, they now find out there is power bill, there is what they call it, estates dues. They find out that service charge. They find out that there's just stuff that they now have to cook. In fact, there was one I watched of a lady who just realized that in moving out of her parents' house, which she had been complaining about, I need to get out, she now found out that she has to prepare all her meals
by herself.
So at first she resorted to buy, and then it wasn't adding up because her money wasn't enough. So she now saw that it was cheaper to cook, and she's like, I have to prepare a meal for myself 3 times a day. And then she was now dreading, she hasn't even gotten married yet, so she was now dreading how she will take care of meals for her husband. That's 2 people. Then if a baby comes along, she was like, oh no. Like she was bewildered at the realization of how many times she will have to cook. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. You got to know.
It's interesting. It's interesting that we're parking around the responsibility junction because in looking at the because the conversations that you have raised, the stories that you have told, I like the stories that you told. It tells you that at different stages of your life, you are going to have to wake up to certain realities and decide to be responsible for them.
Yeah.
Now, it is that you woke up one day and suddenly you people don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And it now means that you have to find money to survive in school. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I think the call really is, in the phase of life you are, can you just stop and say, where am I right now? What is happening with me right now? Who is responsible for getting me to where I want to go or to where I want to be?
Yeah.
Because this matter of, you see, the key issue for me is who should take responsibility for the state of my life right now. And I want to extrapolate it and bring it into relationship. If I am not married and I want to marry, who is responsible for getting me
married?
For getting me married? Whose responsibility is that? If I want to get married and for some reason I haven't gotten married yet, who is responsible? It cannot be that the people that are so for as a guy, it cannot be that all the good ladies are finished, that's why I'm not married. It cannot be that there are no more marriageable ladies, that's why I'm not married.
You know, when you talk about guys, sometimes I just even wonder, because when guys say I'm not married, I can't find someone, sometimes I just wonder, like what are you guys even talking about? Like please. And you know, somebody will say, why? What's wrong with them giving that answer? Because in most cultures, it is the guys who do the asking, right? Yeah. If you ask ladies, some ladies will tell you the reason I'm not gotten married is that nobody has approached me.
Okay,
do you understand?
Wait. See, my body is scratching me.
Why is your body scratching you? I'm not finished saying what I want to say.
Okay, is that part that you said
wait
about
now.
ladies say guy? Is the guy that has not asked me out?
It's the comparison.
The guy has not asked me out.
The context.
So the guy refused to ask you out, and then you say a good guy, and the guy go and marry because he didn't ask you out. Wait
now. Let me finish what I'm saying, then you can now say your own.
Okay, now let me calm down. Let me calm down.
Because what I'm comparing is 2 scenarios. If in most cultures, ladies are not the ones to go and ask a guy to marry them.
I agree.
So even if they like somebody, sometimes, culturally speaking, they may not speak up about it. Like, go and tell the guy, look, I like you, I want to marry you. Because it would be seen as weird in some settings. But in most cultures, it is the men that are expected to do the asking.
So when the men
now tell you that they have not yet found somebody, and that is the reason, you begin to ask the question, hello, what's going on? Like, how is it that you have not found someone? Is it that you all of a sudden your eyes are not working well, what exactly is going on?
So whose fault? Who did that to men?
I don't know.
So for me, what I'm looking at is the context of people taking responsibility for their lives. Baby, I'm sorry, someone can say that, oh, I have not gotten married, and it is because the men have not asked me out. The question I'm asking is there no other way for you to get the guy that you like to ask you out? Are you not a woman? Is it not women like you that know how to organize mumu button?
Are you encouraging people to do some crazy stuff now?
Yep, marriage itself is crazy. So the people should learn how to do crazy stuff.
Like
crazy stuff. Okay, let me show you one crazy stuff. This is it not in the Bible that we have what's this guy Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz? It's not her job to go and look for the guy. The guy is supposed to find, but she positioned herself properly and gave the guy a green light that he could not miss.
Yeah.
In order for the guy to make the approach.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a responsibility somewhere, especially if you see that this is the guy that I want.
Yes.
People have to learn to say, is what do I really want?
So things like giving green light and stuff like that, those are important things for ladies to know. And this is something that, sometimes ladies will like, what can I do? I mean, like, is there, how am I supposed to let him know without looking like I am, like I am needy and stuff like that. So in school, one easy thing to do was friendship. So just start by being friends. At least start by establishing a friendship with the person.
Maybe you are being very nice.
Wait now.
No. Why I'm saying you are being very nice is because see, the people you are talking to are not children. And if there are children watching this show, you're on the wrong channel.
Okay.
Good. People are talking to are not children. They are young guys and young ladies. You want something, go and buy husband material. The inside husband material, the book is there. Inside husband material, you will see how to give green light as a lady. You will see how to give green light. It's not.
In other words, you don't want me to spend time talking about it since I've already written
You have
about
written
it.
a book.
So let's
They should
tell
go and read the book.
Oya people go and read husband
They should
material.
go and they look for husband material and read it. Darabeni has a comment.
She said seriously, some people only live the day by each day. Right?
They
have no clue of who they are, what they want, and how to go about it. But by luck, they grew up to get some opportunities, and at some point, when they have a setback, it becomes a problem to settle it. Yeah, because maybe everything was done for you. I mean, like that stuff we're watching today, where it was time for the lady to go for a conference, and her parents did not make provision for how she would get there.
Yes.
And that was when she was trying to find out how to get a bus, if you use apps to call buses, so I mean that's just.
So in that case now you can say that her parents did not prepare her.
More like sheltered, not much exposure.
Not enough exposure. But this is where I'm coming from again. I'm coming from the point where you can only blame somebody for so long.
For so long, yeah.
Well, at a certain point in your life, you have to press the pause button, look yourself in the mirror and say, who do me this thing? Whoever the person is, forgive the person and decide what you are going to do.
What you are
for
now
yourself.
going to do for yourself.
What you are now going to do
forward.
Going forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So for that case, in that case, the parents sheltered you. But babe, when you turn 18, whatever the parents have done is what the parents can do. Or maybe in our culture, there are still some 25-year-old people that are still staying with their parents. It's okay. We know the cost of house rent. So if that's a better place to stay for now, still stay there while we are there. Do you understand? But what I'm saying is, you get to that point where you look yourself in the eye and say, whoever has been responsible for how I got here, I'm still the one that needs to be responsible for where I want to go next.
Yeah. So you just absolve them of blame, just leave them, and then look to your future. What do I do from here going forward? Because you can't continue looking back all the time. If you're someone says, how can you safely drive forward when you're constantly looking back? So there's a point where you say, okay, all right, it's enough. Let's look forward. How do I go forward? Benny says, I can relate to what you said, sir, because if you are not able to take responsibility of some things that life throws at you, you might end up losing opportunities. Yes, Benny, thank you.
True.
And then Timora says, parents most times make children unready for adulthood. And if children get carried away, they stay in their parents' shell or shelter for longer than they realize. Yeah.
So in that case, we can always say, maybe parents have a challenge. Something happened at our children's school the last time I went for visiting day, and some parents did something that got their children into trouble.
Wow.
Do you understand? And because the school has said, hey, students don't do this, their parents made them do it. and the students now had to pay the price for it. And someone sitting by my side just said something very clear. He said, one of the problems we have today is that we have spoiled parents raising entitled children. And it stuck with me. So, yes, there are some parents that need to take some blame. But the singles of today are also the parents of tomorrow. So it means that if we can say today, oh, we point a finger and say today that parents didn't do well, there are some of the people to blame, then we should also be ready tomorrow that children are going to point a finger at us and say, you, our parents, didn't do well. That is why perhaps we are doing this video today. So maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the future, we can say, even if your parents didn't do well, at some point, wherever that point is, you must draw the line and decide that if my parents didn't do well, I forgive them. And I assume that they did the best that they could do. So that what? From today, me, I must decide what to do about myself. Do you understand? So it is really a case of who do me this thing, who go continue to they do you this thing.
Because at some point you can't keep blaming others. At some point you are not responsible.
You have to take responsibility.
Typical example: somebody says, "Oh, the reason I'm not, the reason I'm like this is because my parents never took me to church." But now you're an adult. Every Sunday you're staying at home.
You are staying at home.
So why don't you take yourself?
There's church like on every street.
Why don't you take
even if you don't want it on
church?
streets, it's on the streets of YouTube. Churches are everywhere. both the real ones, the fake ones. You now need to go and learn which one will work for you, whether it's the real one you're looking for or you want some powers that you have never used.
So at some point you have to say, oh, some people will say, oh, I really wish that I could do maybe further my studies. My parents only got me as far as first degree. But you have finished now. You are now at the, call it to some extent, the level where your parents were. You are an adult. So why don't you go ahead and figure out how to fund that second degree that you want to get, that you keep saying your life is stagnated because you didn't get it, your parents didn't fund it, your parents didn't sponsor you to go for your master's and so on. How about you plan for it and go? There are people who do it. In fact, there are some people with first degree, they were the ones who did it. They're going to school and working, So, yes, if you bring it right back to the relationship issue, guys, I think there's a place where you actually need to get up. I think there's so many people that would have been married by now, but guys have not gotten up to say, hey, girl, I like you. I think we can have a future together. What do you think about it? Where do we go from here? And just start that journey, because you have just not. And sometimes you really love her and all, but you're thinking, what if she says no? What if she says yes?
And
she says yes.
And so on this like drawing a parallel with something that you said, that happens to all of us when someone that you people were in the same class drive past you and you are in your own Lexus, legging it, around the streets of Lagos. Do you understand? That your Lexus legging it around the streets of Lagos, and there's that sense of shame that comes on, and you feel like, all my mates are this, all my mates are that. And the moment shame comes, it tags along with his very near neighbor called regret. So shame and regret, they go hand in hand. So shame gives you a present feeling of the moment, and then regret gives you a present feeling of what should have been in the past. And all of us, young people out there, my generation, older people, one of the facts of life is that we must become conversant with how to deal with our shame. I spoke to someone elderly, and she was going through something. She was almost going into a trauma because of something that her son, who is by this time not a child anymore, because of something that her son is doing, and he's not a child, but she's going into trauma for something that he's doing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But the question is, he's an adult. Why are you going to kill yourself for something that you can't control? that he is doing because he's deciding to do it. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So it's not really about being insensitive. It's about people coming to terms with what is it that you can really do about the thing where they do you. What is happening to you? What can you really do about it? Focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, the reason we languish in a particular state or status for a lengthy time in our life is because we are worried about what others will say, and we are worried about what opportunities we missed. We are worried about how others will look at me because of what happened to me. We're so caught up. And it's because of the mindset that have raised us. And we feel like if something happens, people are going to talk. People are going to, this is going to, we are so societal conscious about what is happening to us. And sometimes maybe we just need a mindset shift to think about it in the context of who am I? Where am I? What can I do about where am I about where I am in order to get me to where I need to be? What can I control? Focus on the things you can do something about, and forget the things that you can't do anything about. Because the moment your ship goes down, the moment you are 6 feet under the ground, life goes on, and you can't break your head about what other people have decided to do. In fact, somebody was telling me one time, you need to pray, you need to pray, this guy, you need to pray this guy. I said, hold on, what decision is the guy? This prayer that you want me to pray, is the guy willing to take the actions necessary in order for him to get into this solution that you are asking for us to pray about? Because sometimes we may be praying for a solution that the person that you are praying for doesn't want that solution. Do you understand? So there are so many issues. There are so many issues that abound in this whole scenario. But you know, shame and regret. We need to learn how to deal with shame. We need to learn how to. I'm ashamed. Yes. So what? What next?
And that's something that in the workbook for husband material I highlighted. You have to be able to look at the worst case scenario. How bad can it get? What's the worst that could happen? So that you stare it in the face, and then you can now say, how do I prevent this worst from happening? You know, it's a way to to have a thorough analysis of what you're going through and try to make sure that whatever you're putting down, whatever you're putting in place, you address all the loopholes, the gaps. And this is why I keep emphasizing that having mentors is important. Whether they're mentors that you're close enough to talk with, which is fantastic, or it's mentors that you are reading about or you're watching their programs, podcasts, and YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's important to have those people. Somebody that has gotten to the place that you want to get to. Because you may not be able to by yourself imagine that future, right? But you may see somebody who is living the life when you see the person, you're like, I would like to be like this, you know? So try and learn from the person. Find out if they're close enough for you to ask questions. Feel free to, find out. Just get to them, ask a few questions. If possible, have them mentor you directly. Like, this is what I'm doing, this is where I am, this is what I'm trying to get to. I've done this, this is what I'm thinking of doing next. What do you think? You know, not that you're just coming blank. Hello, I want to be mentored.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What does that mean?
So ask for help, ask for instructions. It will help you a lot.
I think for me there needs to be that awakening to a sense of realization that one of the things that I can say to this generation is for us to begin to understand that nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. Whatever your parents were able to supply to you or for you or provide for you, that's what they could provide. Maybe they could have done more. Maybe your parents could have done more. Maybe your uncles could have done more. But hey, what they did or did not do is all that has been done for you, and that has become your platform, or that has become your foundation. Nobody owes you anything, so deal with it from where you are. So just draw the line. From today, let's assume that I don't even have any rich uncle. I don't even have anybody that is supposed to help my destiny. I don't even have destiny helper. The only person that is holding my destiny is God. So we need to come to that place where you make that conclusion and begin to walk your way from there, so that if somebody decides to help you, you are not looking at their hand as if they are supposed to tie their life around you because they are your solution. In fact, there was for those of us that read the Bible, concerning Abraham had an opportunity once, and he said, I'm not going to do this thing, so that tomorrow you will not say you were the person that made Abraham rich. Do you understand? But you must be able to look at people and respect them from the point where they helped you because they helped you climb. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Not you now coming to hang yourself upon their neck as if they are the helpers of your destiny. No, God is the only helper because He's the one that designed the destiny. So other people can just come. So we need to come to that place. Nobody owes you anything. The moment you start thinking like that, we'll have a more productive generation to deal with. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
So it's a case of get up and do what you need to do. In fact, get up and get to work. Get to work on achieving that transition in your life. Get to work on realizing your dreams. In fact, it may even start from get to work on defining the dream. Assuming you don't even know what to aspire for and you don't know what to do, get to work finding out what is obtainable. How high can I reach? Right? How high can I reach? Look for people who have attained the kind of success, the kind of achievements that make you happy and like, yes, this is of value, and start to plan and strategize and work towards getting progress in that direction, and reach out for help, read, get materials, watch people, learn from them, ask questions so that you can advance and celebrate your progress as you advance. Those are my final thoughts, and I'll leave you to.
Okay, so I would say that for me, my final thoughts will be around the fact that your parents may have failed you. The environment in which you grew up may not have worked in your favor, right? The experiences that you have in the years of your life before you see this show may not have been the best that they could have been, and perhaps even your exposure or the friends or the relatives. Let's assume every system, everybody around you has failed in quotes, but you find yourself here today. The mindset I need you to go away with is nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. If you understand that mindset, you can now draw the line and say, okay, I had thought that all of you were responsible for what has happened to me in life, but from today, the responsibility for what happens to me is mine. And if it is mine, and if it is me that is responsible for it, what am I going to do in order to get where I want to be tomorrow, so that 5 years from now, I will not still be saying it is my father, it is my brother that didn't help me, it is my village that I came from, it was my poor background. Yes, there are poor people, very poor people, that the same poverty that you are using as an excuse or as what propelled them into stupendous wealth. The question is where do you want to go? So start from today to tell yourself, hey, nobody owes me anything. If I want to make something of my life tomorrow, I need to do something about my life today.
Word. I like the way you ended that.
Wow.
Okay, all right, everyone. Debbie says, great show today. Thanks, Debbie, for that feedback. And I would just like to remind you, if you've gotten value today, please share tomorrow. Tomorrow says I was on that table of what if she says no a while back.
My brother, if she says no, go and ask first. If she says no, deal with it. You're a guy, just square your shoulder
Move
and
on.
move on.
Yeah.
As long as it's not that you're asking every girl in your vicinity out. You found a girl you like, you think you like, and this is go and ask her out. If she says no, dust off your shirt as a senior brother, as a good brother, promising young man, and then move on to the next.
Yeah.
It's her loss, because I know you are a great guy. It's her loss. Just move on. Don't be playing dilly-dally, my guy.
All right, people.
Because in fact, let me shock you. Let me shock you. The person that will eventually ask her out may not even be as sharp as you are, guy.
Oh yes, it's
The
true.
person may not be at your level.
Some wonderful guys like
But the
that are
person
very
has
bold.
Yes, the person has the boldness to go and ask
Boldness of a
your
rasta.
spec out, and she will say yes because you didn't come. Because she too, she's not wasting time. She knows what she's looking for. Bros, slackers are lackers.
You're on fire today. It's as if the show just started now. Should we do welcome to Common Sense for Relationship and then do another hour? Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to like if you've gotten value and share to the people who need it. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so that you will be one of the first to be notified whenever we put up something new. And until next time on the show, we'd like to remind you that common sense
Is not so common. Bye. And let's just take it like that. Let's just take it like that. People have to know. You can't be painting this. Guys, are we still on air?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you once again for joining us. We hope you got great value today. Our goal is to bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your life and relationships. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, and like.